If AI agents can already come up with strategy, design campaigns, and run ads, what will be left for agencies to do? How about multi-agent systems that can already coordinate complex campaigns? It feels like the conversation has shifted. The question isn't whether AI will replace creatives anymore, it's whether AI systems can replace agencies. And agencies are operators for brands. They manage strategy, creative, media buying, production, social and performance marketing through a mix of in-house and outsourced specialists, usually on a campaign basis. Their value is coordination, managing talent, executing work, and turning business goals into marketing outcomes. Instead of hiring agencies, brands will subscribe to an AI agent system that handles everything. Freelancers and vendors are coordinated by those agents, distributed to different parts of the campaign and for multiple brands. And agencies themselves start replacing parts of their workforce with AI agents running 24/7. I think a lot of people who are saying no aren't fully aware about how advanced AI tools have become, especially AI agents. In 2026, almost every other tool is being called an AI agent. We know them as chatbots with memory or database access, workflow tools, automation pipelines, or systems that trigger actions across apps. Underneath the marketing jargon, there are a few common traits that experts use to define them. They pursue goals, not just single prompts, execute sequences of actions, make decisions across steps, retain memory, and use external tools. Here's where it gets interesting, because it's not just about using AI anymore, it's about who's using it, and we're not the only users. For individuals, creatives, project managers, executives, our work is tightly bound to the tools we use. Our capabilities are shaped by access and mastery of them. When those tools improve, so do we. And for organizations, the same applies to their tech stack. At the capabilities layer, AI helps individuals and companies do more with less time and effort, and often with fewer people. Copywriting, design, research, video, strategy, analysis, it's already everywhere. These tools add a layer of capability, one that we deploy directly. But that's no longer the full picture because we are not the only users of these tools. We also need to ask who or what is actually using these capabilities. At the earlier stage, we experiment with AI to replace and augment traditional ways of working. Here, replacing humans just means matching or improving outputs. ChatGPT and Gemini that can write captions and generate images. These assistants can complete everything in one interface. No external tools, no follow-ups, and just a finished output. In doing so, they choose which models to use and how to structure the task. They define their own workflow, tools, priorities, much like we do, even without explicit instructions. This means that AI assistants can select from available capabilities without direct human input. AI agents are similar to AI assistants but designed to be customized with instructions like context or brand information, preferred workflow, output formats, and access to APIs or data sources. They exist as standalone tools like Claude, but also as built-in features in platforms like Notion. That means they already live inside many organizations' tech stack. We can't talk about AI agents without talking about multi-agent systems or workflows. This is when multiple agents work together to complete a task that will be difficult for a single agent alone. A single agent is limited by its context window, which restricts how much information it can process at once. Multi-agent systems work around this by splitting tasks, distributing memory, summarizing information, and retrieving only relevant data and running multiple separate model calls. Often, an orchestrating agent breaks down the task and assigns it to specialized agents with access to different tools. These agents can run in sequence or in parallel, and their workflow isn't fixed. It can change based on intermediate outputs, confidence level, new information, failures, tool results, or interaction between agents. At this point, we're not talking about tools anymore. We're talking about systems that can start resembling an agency. But let's step back for a second because this is where theory meets reality. At the capabilities level, no one is suggesting that a bundle of generative AI subscription can fully replace an agency. Even with AI, agencies consolidate many capabilities and turn them into cohesive end-to-end campaign execution. So to replace agencies, brands wouldn't just need the tools, they also need to operate them like an agency does. And that's likely why agencies aren't fully threatened by clients adopting more AI tools and building out their tech stack. Most brands simply just don't have the time, resources, or experience to orchestrate complex campaigns. But if brands can use AI agents or multi-agent systems to strategize, plan, and run their campaigns. Does that mean because agencies are made of people, they feel like something that you can't just simply replace with software? We heard this before at the capabilities layer. When generative AI was first used for creative output, the idea was that something intangible will be lost: human touch and sensibility. At an organization level, agencies are not just a collection of roles, like designers, account executives, strategies, creative directors, all put into a room to produce work. There is an integration that produces something that is greater than the sum of its parts. The stylistic flair, intuition, and creative sensibilities that is shaped by lived experience, physical senses, cultural awareness, emotional intelligence, and reflective thinking. There is an awareness and pride that the creative work they make speaks for them. Yeah, okay, but it's a bit less romantic. Most commercial work is constrained by approved content pillars, SOPs, and actual style templates, often reactive and requires unquestioning acceptance, especially just before final asset, for quick approval and minimal friction. Keeping internal processes simple enough and usable for the least experienced team member, and to minimize the need for a lengthy staff training. Commercial work is subservient to stakeholder prerogatives, politics, prior practices, brand strategies, fixed timelines, hierarchies, and profit constraints. That doesn't mean creativity isn't real. It means that a lot of the system is already structured, and structured systems are exactly what software is good at. So synergy and human touch don't necessarily imply that agency work is as amorphous as we imagine. Agencies win work because they are trusted to deliver results. Beyond track records, people trust people. Shared values, intentions, motivations matter. AI systems appear like black boxes. If we don't understand how decisions are made, it becomes harder to trust or fully control the output. Even when an AI explains its reasoning, it can still be unclear whether that explanation reflects the actual decision process, or is it just a post hoc justification. But if we probed human agencies in the same way, they are also not always open books either. They also have incentive to hide their mistakes and present work as more intentional than it really was. In practice, AI systems can actually be more transparent in some ways. We can observe their step-by-step behavior, see how outputs change with small prompt adjustments, and iterate in real time. The level of visibility makes them easier to inspect and even micromanage without consequences. At first glance, that sounds like a burden, and even risky without experienced human agencies to troubleshoot, set standards, and guide creative direction. It suggests that even with multi-agent systems, human oversight is still required. But that's also true for human agencies or in-house teams. Scrutinizing outcomes is a feature of management, not a bug. There's also other reasons why we want to do so. We want to shape outputs with our own ideas because we are biased towards them. We may believe that there's always a better outcome or way of doing things, or we are spurred by our interest or passion to obsess over the details. These motivations end up shaping the work, so it reflects us, not just in quality but in authorship. The same is also true of agency systems. SOPs, templates, and workflows are helpful, but rarely good enough as is. So while AI agents may not feel human enough, much of what makes agency work feel human is already mediated through structured processes, institutional habits, and repeatable systems. We tend to romanticize agencies as deeply human, but commercial creative work is already highly procedural. Yet fully automating it feels slippery and difficult because coordination, trust, supervision, and judgment are hard problems, whether the system is human or AI. That shows up in practice today. Some practitioners already treat AI agents like junior collaborators, delegating work, reviewing outputs, and curating results. Others, especially those with less experience, may use AI agents for certain simple tasks to speed up projects and to reduce costs. But even then, there are certain thresholds where decisions wouldn't be fully automated. So, there is still another kind of system that could push us closer to fully autonomous agentic agencies. Agency work may be far more systematized than agencies like to admit, even if parts of it still depend on genuine human judgment. But those judgments are often about shaping and aligning outputs with how we think the work should be. In other words, we want human influence exerted throughout the process. For dependable AI outputs, especially in workflows involving multiple stages, research, brainstorming, concept selection, script writing. Fixing the output of a single prompt isn't enough. At this point, it starts to resemble prompt architecting rather than prompt engineering. If prompt engineering is about refining a prompt to produce desired output, prompt architecting is about designing a system of prompts. It is the process of turning your methodology into a generalizable workflow. A prompt architect thinks in chains of inputs and outputs, designing sequences that move towards a specific vision of the final result. The goal is to structure the workflow with each step feeding into the next, with minimal human mediation between them. And the real challenge becomes deciding how deterministic the system should be to consistently produce useful outputs. So let me show you what this looks like in practice. This is a workflow that I've built on Make to generate marketing plans for businesses. The goal is to create an all-in-one deck that works both as an internal guide for my team, covering digital strategy, content planning, and media buying, and as something polished enough to pitch directly to clients. But if I generated the deck without defining the specific recommendations, frameworks, evaluation criteria behind it, then I'll be leaving too much to chance. The output might look convincing, but it might not reflect the information that my team actually relies on to execute campaigns. Given that my typical deck is about 50 to 60 pages of non-fluff content, a quick chat with an AI assistant isn't enough. It will likely exceed the context window. The good part is that I already know what the deck needs to include. That allows me to break it down into frameworks in order to identify inputs for each framework. But that also means that I have to translate a lot of intuitive thinking into explicit instructions for the framework. At the same time, closing gaps so that they can work across a wide range of use cases and map out which sections are components of others. That lets the prompts be arranged into a clear sequence. We usually don't start with much information, especially for new brands. So I've listed out easy to find or create sets of information and a form to collect them in a structured way so that automation kicks off as soon as the form is submitted. The tedious part is writing out all the prompts for each step and refining them until they produce the output that I want at the end. The output isn't just a neat, consistent deck. It means that every new client is guided by a plan grounded in a methodology that we trust, delivered in a format that we are already familiar with. And honestly, I've seen paid decks that don't even come close to this standard. If this works for a marketing plan, AI automation can be extended to a wide range of deliverables that were previously done in multiple stages. Alright, I'm saying all this, but I'm in pretty murky waters because formulating such a chain feels like tackling a wicked problem. Building something operationally deployable like that is an iterative process, running scenarios, tracing chains of decisions, tweaking prompts, and seeing how those changes affect downstream outputs. So even though I believe this is possible for most people, the challenge of trying to get a system to consistently produce something that I would actually be comfortable using myself cannot be understated. Whether building custom AI agents or automating chains of tasks takes time. Depending on your comfort and experience with these tools, it might feel like a huge leap or something that's only a few weeks away. But instead of focusing on timelines, it's more useful to look at capabilities and implementation. Organizations move through these phases at different speeds and in different directions. So a better question is, what is actually blocking them from progressing further? Let's break it down across three areas: agencies, software companies, and creative marketers. I can't speak for all agencies, but the ones I observed generally recognize the importance of AI tools and are open to adopting them. That's a big shift compared to a few years ago. That being said, adoption tends to be uneven. Agencies are a little bit slower than individual creatives, partly because creative work is already experimental and time-consuming, and generative tools require iteration and taste. In that sense, agencies with in-house creative teams often have an advantage in building up capabilities at an individual level, but the bigger gap is in the application layer. Most usage I've seen is bottom-up and siloed. Individual PMs or creatives might use AI to generate briefs, storyboards, or concepts, but these workflows rarely get standardized across the agency. That means that each person is optimizing their own output, not the end-to-end delivery system. The connection between early stage generation and later stage execution is often missing. So instead of a coordinated system, you get isolated pockets of experimentation. Agencies are in an awkward phase of transition. Their traditional model, justified by headcount and execution, is being questioned. But they can only go so far to position AI adoption as an enhancement of their processes rather than something that would revolutionize their cost of operation. The result is a gap between capability and coordination. And that gap is one of the biggest blockers towards becoming a truly agentic agency. That said, agencies are adopting tools and subscriptions. Some of them include embedded AI agents. So what is the likelihood of software companies pushing agencies towards becoming more agentic? There is a huge evolution in AI tools since I first started with Jasper AI back in 2022. At that time, I used it more than ChatGPT because it was designed specifically for marketers like me, with workflows and outputs tuned to the kind of copy that we actually need. In that way, they were early leaders in what we now call prompt engineering. But that feels like a different era now. The quality of outputs from general purpose free assistants like ChatGPT has improved dramatically, especially after WebSS was introduced. And that shift made expensive subscriptions like Jasper hard to justify. At the same time, marketers today prefer two things: access to constantly evolving sets of generative models on creative platforms like Hixview and Magnific, and application layer tools, agent builders like Claude, OpenClaw, or Manus that can structure workflows rather than just generate outputs. There is some optimism here. Creative platforms and agent builders are moving us closer to more agentic systems for agencies. Subscribing to these tools can significantly elevate output quality by expanding both capability and structure. But there's still a ceiling. Most of this progress stops short at full autonomy because human supervision is still required for control, judgment, and quality assurance. From a brand or client perspective, replacing agencies entirely with these systems could reduce costs significantly, but it also introduces operational responsibility. At that point, they effectively have to behave like agencies themselves, which is why this approach is most likely going to show up in lower risk, smaller scale projects where failure is less costly. From my marketing plan example, it is already possible to move towards more autonomous AI systems that produce outputs that feels distinctively mine, even if I'm not directly doing the processing, and that I can trust without constant supervision. At an individual level, more experienced and capable creatives could absolutely design their own AI chains and build systems around the work that they do repeatedly. Besides, for power users of AI agents, I'm sure we are capping out at what we can do when co-working with or supervising your custom AI agents. And that's where custom AI chains become the next step. Brands, marketers, creatives, and agencies don't just want AI that produces good marketing. We want AI that produces marketing that feels like us. Which is why this transition feels so slow, because it's not just a technical upgrade, it's a construction of identity and taste into a system. You're essentially modeling how decisions are made in your head, what you prioritize, how you evaluate ideas, how you define good, and the rules that you rarely articulate. Most of this is instinctive, hard to explain, and AI systems don't run on instinct. They need structure, which is why the bottleneck isn't AI capabilities, it is self-awareness. In teams especially, it's a negotiation between different priorities, weightage of performance versus brand, choosing between emotions versus data, how risk and novelty is distinguished, and what calls for consistency versus disruption. Left to an AI agent, those tensions don't disappear. They resolve into whatever is strategically preferred, not necessarily what your own team would choose. Finally, it's also how you maximize the use of AI models and automation capabilities to build a seamless chain, where AI systems don't just generate outputs, they operate within a defined way of thinking, and work with other marketers and creatives to solve contradictions between frameworks and systems, and to adapt them into evolving markets and conditions. While putting words together for this video, my mind kept going back to that quote. Descartes originally meant the very act of thinking proves the existence of the thinker behind it. Thought exists and therefore a thinker exists. If an AI system becomes shaped so deeply by your frameworks, heuristics, and tastes that its outputs feel recognizably you-like, then something interesting happens. What is clearly your pattern of thoughts detaches from you, and they are rehosted on a managing platform with a mind that is not you. That's the very definition of autonomous agency. Maybe the future of agencies becoming agentic isn't about replacing people with tools. It's about replacing people with a projection of accumulated procedural expertise. a shift from people applying capabilities to systems increasingly do. Not perfectly with AI agents or not immediately with AI chains, but enough to reimagine what an agency might become.